Well, good morning. Dr. Glen here with not Monday Morning Motivations, but Family Matters. That's right, we've changed the name, but that's really all that we've changed. It's really to reflect the idea that a lot of these tips are around family health concepts. It's definitely where my passion is. So we thought we'd be a little bit more congruent and change the name to reflect what we're actually speaking about. Now, it's also my hope that even though we're talking about family health concepts, they're applicable to the individual at any stage of life. So hopefully that's the case. Now, I wanted to start off the year. If you're like me, you spend the first part of 2017 really kind of setting the goals and what you want to see happen in the year ahead. It's a great time of year to be doing that. But what I want to suggest today is that we should really be bringing our children and the rest of our family into that discussion. And the reason is that if we can get our kids starting to understand the importance of health, that we need to set some time aside to plan for how we're going to keep health over the next year, to set aside time each day and finances each day for our health, I really think we've set them up well for later on in life. Now, when parents come in and they're asking me about what is the best sport or activity to be getting our kids into, without a doubt, my first pick is always yoga. And you can see that I'm sitting in front of the Wellspring sign here. So I wanted to touch on exactly why I recommend yoga. I think it's almost one of those perfect activities to be getting our kids into. So the first reason is this whole idea behind neuromusculoskeletal connectedness. And that's the brain-body connection. I think we're losing that more and more with younger generations, with the different technology that's coming out, a whole other discussion. But this brain-body connection is part of every yoga practice and very important to be going through life very aware of how that brain-body connection is happening. Now, number two, it's kind of along the same lines as mindfulness. Mindfulness is that idea that you're aware of the environment that you're sitting in and also aware of the internal environment. Now, it's always part of the yoga practice. And imagine a child that's going through all those different stages of life with a very secure foundation of mindfulness, being aware of what's going on inside of them. It's going to make everything so much easier for them as they progress through those different stages. Now, the last one is the breathing that comes along with yoga practice. Now, breathing can be used for all different activities through the day. It can be used for kids in the morning to get them energized. You can use some breathing exercise at the end of the day to bring them down a little bit, get them ready for bed. Hopefully they even adopt that practice to be used on their own through the day. If they get into high anxiety states, they can be using yoga practice to bring them back down again. So absolutely wonderful foundation for children to start learning these tips and techniques for all the challenges that they have ahead of them. Now, it's not just those three ideas, but it's the whole idea behind lifelong sport that really gets me excited about yoga. You see, the concept behind lifelong sport is that there's lots of great activities you can start with, things like gymnastics, ballet, dance, but a lot of those are actually dropped as we get into our careers, and we can't continue those through life. Now, yoga is one of those things that really works well into lifelong sport. You can do that at any stage of your life. It's very important for every stage of life. You can do it in a group social setting. If you're wanting to get more connected to the community around you, you can definitely have community classes. If you need some time alone, you can use it at those periods of life where you're just practicing yoga. It doesn't matter how much space or where you are in the world. As long as you have a spot you can sit or stand, you can be practicing yoga. It fits wonderful in that concept of lifelong sport. So there we go. That's your motivation for today. Number one, to start getting your kids connected around the idea that health takes some time and energy and it's worth setting some time aside for. And number two, if you're thinking about things you want to be getting them into this year, strongly suggest yoga. And oh, by the way, the Wellspring does have a wonderful leader, Dr. Jessica Reed, happens to be my wife. She runs a wonderful kids yoga class. We also have a more, a little bit older kids class that happens on Monday. You can check out the wellspring.ca for any of those schedules. In the meantime, have a wonderful, healthy week, and I'll see you next Monday for the next installment of Family Matters.